it's me.
Yara?
Yeah.
Don't open the door!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most memorable or revered horror sequences that fans just can't get enough of. Beware of spoilers.
Slipped away! She didn't just slip away! You did it!
Number 50. Mirror Scare, Candyman. This 90s supernatural horror revolves around Candyman, a vengeful spirit said to haunt the Cabrini Green homes. Say his name 5 times and you are done for.
Have you ever heard of Candyman?
No.
Well, his right hand is sawn off. He has a hook jammed in the bloody stump.
That simple dare fuels one of the film's most memorable sequences. Clara and her lover Billy are about to get intimate, but instead of keeping things romantic, they tempt fate. Billy chants the Candyman's name 4 times, and Clara boldly utters the 5th.
So Billy began. He looked in the mirror and he said,
Candyman. Candyman.
What follows is a haunting glimpse of the hook-handed spirit before blood splatters on the ceiling and the scene cuts abruptly. It's so disorienting and quick that it leaves you rattled.
Candyman.
She turned out the lights.
That suddenness is probably why you keep coming back, hunting for more details and chasing that instant surge of fear. Number 49, Call from Inside the House, When a Stranger Calls. Within minutes, Fred Walton sets the tone for a scene that would become one of horror's most defining moments. Jill Johnson is babysitting when a stranger calls, asking the same chilling questions. At first, it's unsettling. Then it becomes relentless.
Hello?
Why haven't you checked the children?
When Jill contacts the police, she learns that the caller has been inside the house all along.
Jill, this is Sergeant Sacker. Listen to me. We've traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. Our squad car's on the way over there right now. Just get out of that house.
That line alone floored horror fans and continues to blow minds even today. It was so impactful that Wes Craven paid homage to it in the opening of Scream. Decades later, it's still one of the most intriguing starts, with fans revisiting for nostalgia, respect for the craft, or just to feel that gut punch of a twist again. Number 48, The Flashes of Hell, Event Horizon. In the year 2047, a starship that vanished without a trace suddenly resurfaces, prompting a rescue crew to investigate. A cryptic distress message, an abandoned ship, and some spooky occurrences suggest something is seriously wrong.
He's coming! Who's coming? The dark.
Absolutely nothing prepares Captain Miller's crew or us for what they find. When a recovered video from the original crew is finally played, we're hit with one of the most disturbing montages in sci-fi horror. We're talking crew members ripping each other apart, eyes being torn out, and other hellish torments.
Stark.
Miller?
Being such a nightmarish and shockingly pivotal moment, fans probably had to rewatch to dissect every chaotic frame. Still, no matter how many times you see it, it never gets easier.
We're leaving.
Number 47, Zelda Returns, Pet Sematary. This is undoubtedly one of Stephen King's most blood-curdling tales. A local physician and his family move into a house near a dangerous highway. Bad idea. When their cat dies, they learn about a nearby cemetery that can bring things back to life. While the setup is already creepy with an undead pet and Gage returning from the dead, it's not these that torment us the most. It's Rachel's flashback of her sick sister Zelda that truly haunts our nightmares. With her gaunt face, contorted movements, and raspy voice, Zelda remains one of horror's most terrifying figures.
She started to convulse, and I thought, oh my God, she's
joking.
No wonder people often revisit just to hear her bone-chilling lines and marvel at Andrew Hubachek's nerve-wracking portrayal. It honestly never gets old.
And they'll say you wanted her to be dead, and that was true too. And then she died.
Number 46. Tall Man Enters Bedroom. It Follows. David Robert Mitchell's fear-inducing movie might as well be about the world's worst STD. Well, instead of a physical symptom, you get a shape-shifting creeper that never stops until it kills you. After a casual hookup, Jay inherits this curse, and her torment begins. In one mind-scarring scene, while Jay's with her friends, a grotesquely tall man with sunken eyes strolls into the room.
Mom, is that you?
No, it's me.
Yara?
Yeah.
There's no warning of any kind, just silent dread as this strange man suddenly fills the doorframe, staring right at us.
What are you doing?
It's the kind of terror that stays with you. Thanks to its flawless execution and innovative take on fear, horror fans have probably seen this more than a few times.
Jay, wait! Jay!
Number 45. Lily's Transformation, VHS. This found footage horror is a wild mix of eerie stories, but none hit as hard as Amateur Night, with Lily's transformation being its scariest point. It starts innocently enough with a group of friends inviting some ladies for a casual hookup.
Hey, are you okay?
Things take a gruesome turn when Patrick rushes into the bathroom with a bloody hand, claiming Lily bit him. When she's confronted, Lily reveals herself to be a succubus with fangs and a high-pitched scream, killing Shane. The rawness of the handheld camera makes her transformation even more visceral. While some viewers might find it overwhelming, others may be drawn back to rewatch due to how gripping and realistic it looks.
Help me, please get me out of here!
Number 44. Meeting the Tethered, Us. There's something deeply unsettling about being replaced by someone who looks exactly like you. Us explores that fear using the Tethered. The build-up to their confrontation with the Wilson family is downright nerve-wracking, from their silhouette figures in the driveway to their forced entry into the home.
I'm serious, man! I will break your head! If I were you...
It's Red's twisted monologue that shifts the scene from tense to strangely fascinating. Suddenly, you realize this isn't just a home invasion. It's a tale about a girl determined to take back her life.
But when the shadow was hungry, she had to eat rabbit, raw and bloody.
It's so layered and thought-provoking, you'll want to rewatch to better understand the little details, especially the dynamic between Red and Adelaide. With each rewatch, more pieces fall into place.
So you see, the shadow hated the girl so much for so long. Until one day, the shadow realized she was being tested by God.
Number 43. Hobbling Misery. In Rob Reiner's classic thriller, things go from bad to bone-crushing real quick. After Paul Sheldon crashes his car during a snowstorm, he's rescued by Annie, his so-called #1 fan. At first, she seems like a savior until her true colors show. Nothing quite captures her descent into madness like the hobbling scene.
Do you know what they did to the native workers who stole diamonds? Don't worry, they didn't kill them. That would be like junking a Mercedes just because it had a broken spring. No, if they caught them, they had to make sure they could go on working, but they also had to make sure they could never run away. The operation was called hobbling.
Enraged by Paul's attempt to escape, Annie shatters his ankles with a sledgehammer. Yep, it's as brutal as it sounds. You can practically hear the bones snap.
And for God's...
Shh, darling. Trust me.
God's sake.
It's for the best.
Eddie, please!
Though director Reiner toned down the book's gorier version, this scene remains one of horror's most excruciating. Whether you're testing your endurance level or just soaking in the powerhouse performances here, this scene demands a rewatch.
God, I love you.
Number 42, Clown Attack, Poltergeist. Horror has a way of making even the ordinary creepy. Poltergeist proves just that with the surreal torment the Freelings endure. That brings us to this scene that's both downright disquieting and unforgettable. Robbie's already uneasy about his clown doll, and that unease manifests in the worst way. Alone in his room, he notices his doll is missing from its chair. The suspense is suffocating as he searches for it. Then, in a flash, this inanimate object comes violently alive. It's not just the evil clown that makes this so famous, it's that gut-churning buildup that keeps you bracing for impact. No matter how many times you watch it, you'll still jump. Who knows, maybe this is why people keep dolls far, far away. Number 41, Hide and Clap, The Conjuring. James Wan's The Conjuring is widely regarded as one of the scariest modern horrors, and for good reason. Instead of fake jump scares, it builds fear slowly using masterful pacing, eerie cinematography, and that otherworldly score.
She made me do.
One moment that perfectly captures this? The infamous clapping scene. While investigating strange noises at night, Carolyn is pushed into the basement by unseen forces.
Who's ever down there? I'm gonna lock you in now.
As if that isn't terrifying enough, the light goes out, leaving her plunged in darkness. With only a match as comfort, a child's voice whispers a grim question. Then, two ghostly claps echo in the darkness.
Hey, wanna play hide and clap?
It's pure nightmare fuel that requires more than one watch just to process everything, and it gets you every single time. Number 40, It's Alive, Frankenstein. There's no disputing that this gothic classic helped shape the horror genre as we know it, setting the standard for monster flicks for decades to come. One moment that lives rent-free in our minds? The birth of Frankenstein's creation. In this mad scientist's stormlit lab, the creature comes alive, prompting Colin Clive to deliver a frantic line that has been burned into pop culture.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
It encapsulates the awe and madness of playing God all in one electrifying moment. Whether you're a fan of horror or not, chances are you've heard it parodied or referenced countless times. That is the true power of a timeless scene.
Oh, in the name of God, now I know what it feels like to be God. Oh.
Number 39, Restaurant, The Invisible Man. This film cleverly turns the idea of invisibility into a metaphor for abuse and gaslighting. In it, Elizabeth Moss plays Cecilia, a woman unraveling under the weight of being haunted by an unseen ex. Its most jaw-dropping moment happens in a seemingly safe setting, a crowded restaurant. Cecilia meets with her sister to share her suspicions about being stalked by her ex.
I found something that can prove what I'm experiencing, that can prove that Adrian is stalking me.
Within seconds, everything flips on its head as an unseen hand pops out, lifts a knife, and slashes her sister's throat. It is so shocking, so mind-blowing that you cannot resist the urge to have a second or even third look. It's the ultimate, did that just happen, that leaves both character and audience in stunned silence. Number 38, Ending Scene, Don't Look Now. Ever seen a movie with a twist so unexpected that you had to rewatch the entire thing? Don't Look Now evokes that feeling. It might not start like your typical horror, but by the time the ending hits, everything takes on a much darker meaning.
Hey, piccola, vengo qui. Qui. La barca. Qui. No, la barca. Aspettami.
John and Laura have tragically lost their daughter. Throughout the film, John keeps seeing a girl in a red coat, the same one his daughter wore when she drowned.
It's okay. I'm a friend. I won't hurt you.
In a shocking turn, John catches up to this figure, only to discover it's a murderous little person. Turns out he'd been seeing premonitions of his death all along. This twist rewrites everything you thought you knew, making you want to go back to pick up all the hidden clues you missed.
Wait.
Number 37, Ash's Hand, Evil Dead 2. Sam Raimi's sequel remake has that perfect blend of gore and slapstick comedy, managing to be scary, hilarious, and genius all at once. At the center of it all is Bruce Campbell as Ash, who is trapped in a cursed cabin battling deadites. One completely insane scene that's become a fan favorite, endlessly rewatched and discussed, is Ash's epic showdown with himself. After getting possessed, Ash's hand turns against him, flinging him around the cabin and punching him. Ultimately, it ends with him screaming maniacally as he saws it off. For many, it marks the moment horror stopped taking itself too seriously and became wild, weird, and fun. Honestly, it's always a blast to come back to. Number 36, Spiderwalk, The Exorcist. There are many horrific and iconic scenes in The Exorcist. This one certainly ranks among them. It was absent from the original film, reportedly because it gave away the demonic possession too soon. But the 2000 re-release cranks up the horror by including the sequence of Regan's spiderwalk.
What the hell do you mean going off and leaving Regan by herself? Are you crazy? Her window's wide open. The whole room is freezing.
Didn't he tell you?
Didn't who tell me?
Burke isn't...
What's Burke got to do with it?
In this bizarre scene, Chris watches in shock as Regan crawls down the stairs, mouth dripping blood, body contorting in a way that defies nature.
Oh my God.
It's brief and jarring, but wow, does it leave a mark. You'll find yourself rewinding just to take in the wild effects and marvel at the brilliance behind such a nightmarish performance. It's proof that even a few seconds can haunt you forever.
Gain for your holy apostles the power to tramp underfoot serpents and scorpions. Grant me, your unworthy servant, pardon for all my sins, and the power to confront this cruel demon.
Number 35, First Meeting, The Silence of the Lambs. There's a reason Hannibal still ranks among the greatest villains of all time. He doesn't need jump scares or physical brutality to terrify. You feel it in that piercing gaze and calculated calm.
I won't waste your time or Catherine's time bargaining for petty privileges. Clarice Starling and that awful Jack Crawford have wasted far too much time already. I only pray they haven't doomed the poor girl. Let me help you now, and I will trust you when it is all over.
Nowhere is that more intense or more unforgettable than in his first meeting with Clarice Starling. Until this moment, everything we know about Hannibal is hearsay. But as the camera glides to his cell, something changes. You realize this isn't your average villain.
May I see your credentials?
Certainly.
Closer, please. Closer.
What follows is a masterclass in tension, character dynamics, and restrained menace. Fans probably keep coming back not just for the chill, but to study every pause, every word, and every glance. Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster make every second memorable.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Number 34, Georgies Death, It. When Stephen King's miniseries hit screens in the 90s, Tim Curry's Pennywise became the stuff of childhood nightmares.
Oh, come back anytime.
Bring your friends.
Decades later, Bill Skarsgård gave the entity a terrifying new edge, proving that some horrors only grow stronger with time. At the heart of this revival stands one scene that grips fans every time they hit replay: Georgie's death. It's the moment that sets everything in motion.
Hiya, Georgie. What a nice boat. Do you want it back?
What begins innocently, just a kid going to retrieve his paper boat, turns into a gruesome tragedy and the spine-tingling reveal of a monstrous threat. As troubling as it is, you might find yourself revisiting to analyze how Pennywise goes from playful clown to predator, or simply to gasp at the shock of it all. Number 33, Malcolm's Realization, The Sixth Sense. M. Night Shyamalan's track record may be a mixed bag, but The Sixth Sense undeniably stands as one of his best. Nothing quite captures the signature of his storytelling like that twisty, mesmerizing ending.
What is it? What?
Why did you leave me?
I didn't leave you.
Throughout the movie, Malcolm believes he's alive, growing concerned about his distant wife while helping young Cole, who sees dead people. Then comes the jaw drop that completely changes everything we've seen. Malcolm was a ghost all along.
I see people. They don't know they're dead.
How often do you see them?
All the time. They're everywhere.
It's the kind of twist that sends you straight into rewind mode, scanning every scene for cleverly hidden clues. Then you come back again, this time to appreciate the ingenuity of this scene. Number 32, Prom Night, Carrie. How could anyone forget one of the scariest and bloodiest prom scenes ever put on screen? From the start, Carrie makes us feel sorry for its shy, awkward lead who's constantly mocked at school and tormented at home. But when Carrie transforms into something supernatural and vengeful, that's one iconic scene we couldn't stop replaying and revisiting. From Carrie's crowning moment to the cruel drop of the bucket and the image of hell breaking loose, it is horror gold. It's simply too riveting for just one viewing. Horror fans return to it for the thrill of the buildup, the intensity of the kills, and the haunting sight of Carrie walking away from all that carnage. Number 31, A Bigger Boat, Jaws. With its character-driven story, slow burn suspense, and a monster you barely see, Jaws set a new benchmark for creature features. One moment fans have quoted and rewatched for decades, the scene where Quint, Brody, and Hooper go hunting for the shark. As Brody casually tosses Chum into the water, the creature suddenly emerges behind him, with no warning at all. Brody's stunned reaction, followed by that deadpan line, cemented the scene's place in pop culture history.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
It's the perfect mix of horror, suspense, and humor. Even if you've never seen Jaws, you must have heard the line used whenever something goes terribly wrong. That is how legendary the moment is.
That's a 20-footer.
25. 3 tons on them.
Number 30, Casey is Targeted, Scream.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Wes Craven's masterpiece revitalized the dying slasher genre, and audiences were completely sold within the first 10 minutes. All they needed was Drew Barrymore and some creepy voice acting. Well, okay, there is a bit more to it than that. This scene plays on many universal fears that we all share, like unseen threats hiding in the shadows. It's a brilliantly written sequence that ups the ante as it goes, and Craven directs it with his typical mastery. Whether you like the tense phone calls or the graphic visuals, there's something here for everyone, and we guarantee that some VHS tapes were worn out from the constant rewinding.
Lucky for you, there's a bonus round. But poor Steve, I'm afraid he's out.
Number 29, The Bear Annihilation.
Look at the teeth. Concentric rows. Something here is making giant waves in the gene pool.
Movie history is filled with terrifying animals, but none quite like the Annihilation Bear. This film from Alex Garland concerns a team of scientists that venture into the Shimmer, a mysterious area that emerged in Florida following a meteor strike. The Shimmer is known to mutate plants and animals, and that's where the bear comes in. The animal attacks a scientist named Cassie, and the two become merged, with the bear displaying a human skull and Cassie's voice. It's an unbelievable achievement in visual effects and sound design, and millions have rewatched the scene to enjoy its many terrifying details. Number 28, Daughter's Face, The Others.
Oh, look what a pretty daughter I've got.
This period film from Alejandro Amenabar is gothic horror done right. While it takes place in the 1940s, The Others takes major inspiration from classic ghost stories of the Victorian era, and its setting is highly reminiscent of the most iconic gothic works. In one of its most famous scenes, Grace stumbles across a small figure clad entirely in white. When she gets closer, she sees the face of an older woman in place of her young daughter.
What have you done with my daughter?
Are you mad? I am your daughter.
You're not my daughter!
It's a haunting image, and one that has helped define this classic ghost movie. Sometimes, the simplest scares are the most effective. Number 27, The Party Video, Signs.
What you're about to see may disturb you.
Say what you will about M. Night Shyamalan's storytelling, but he sure can craft an effective horror scene. Signs is one of the director's best, about an ex-priest who finds crop circles on his Pennsylvania farm. He lives with his younger brother Merrill, who in one scene watches a news report about a potential alien sighting. The station plays home video footage from a birthday party in Brazil, which shows a large green figure emerging from some bushes.
It's behind!
The alien is only on screen for a fraction of a second, which lends a sense of confusion and unease to the scene, perfect for obsessive rewatching. Number 26, 3D TV, The Ring.
Don't you understand, Rachel? She never sleeps.
The early 2000s was a great time for horror, with The Ring being one of its many classics. Many of its scenes have become ingrained in the public consciousness, including the iconic sequence in which Samara emerges from the TV to attack Noah. This scene was everywhere at the time, and has been endlessly referenced and parodied throughout pop culture. Even if you haven't seen The Ring, you still know about the scene and how it plays out. And if you have seen The Ring, you have undoubtedly watched the scene again and again to soak up its brilliance. Number 25, That's Not Norris, The Thing.
Quit that bickering over there. Windows, wheel that defibrillator over here.
John Carpenter's chilly masterpiece is often heralded for its visual effects, and those are on full display in this iconic sequence. Norris seemingly has a heart attack, prompting Dr. Copper to intervene. But when he attempts to use the defibrillator, Norris's stomach turns into a giant mouth and all hell breaks loose. There's a ton of great stuff packed into the scene, all of which is goopy and disgusting. For the squeamish, watching the scene is a one-and-done deal. But for many horror fans, savoring every gooey morsel of Rob Bottin's beautiful effects work is a recurring pleasure, though we'll spare you it in its entirety in case you're one of the former. Number 24, Cracking the Whip, Ghost Ship. For the most part, Ghost Ship is a forgettable affair, but it contains a killer opening that some consider one of the best in horror. It takes place aboard an ocean liner in the early 1960s, with a large group of well-dressed people dancing on a stage. An unseen killer then manipulates a wire cord, causing it to whip through the group at an incredible speed. What results is absolute carnage, and let's just say it's definitely not for the faint of heart. It's an inventive sequence that starts the film off right, and it's probably the only scene from the film that people have sought out or remembered. Number 23, Monstrous Dream, Rosemary's Baby.
Nice.
Sleep is what you need. Good night's sleep.
A brilliantly disturbing horror film, Rosemary's Baby is an exercise in paranoia, preying on fears of abandonment and powerlessness. It concerns poor Rosemary Woodhouse, who is manipulated by her occult neighbors into birthing the Antichrist. In one of the movie's many iconic scenes, a sedated Rosemary is overpowered by the devil while she experiences bizarre hallucinations. It's a masterfully directed and edited sequence, and is one of those unsettling scenes that deeply rewards rewatching, as it contains many important details, symbols, and hidden meanings that are easy to miss on initial viewing.
This is no dream. This is really happening.
Number 22, Norman's Skullface, Psycho.
I'll just sit here and be quiet, just in case they do suspect me.
Norman Bates is an iconic villain, and he ends Psycho with what could be the most famous ending in movie history. It's certainly up there. Sitting in a jail cell, Norman's face shifts from innocence to malice as he smiles knowingly at the camera. And, for a very brief moment, the image of a skull is superimposed over his face. There are many reasons why people have rewatched the scene. It could be to appreciate the beautiful writing of Norma's monologue, or the fantastic acting of Anthony Perkins. And of course, to catch a glimpse of the skull if they missed it the first time. What else is there to say? Hitchcock was a master.
In Norman's case, the battle is over, and the dominant personality has won.
Number 21, The Jigsaw Reveal, Saw.
There was someone standing outside here watching through this peephole. Looks like our friend Jigsaw likes to book himself front row seats to his own sick little games.
It's hard to craft a great twist, but Saw creators Lee Winnell and James Wan pulled off essentially a 3-in-1. One of the most famous twists of the 2000s, Saw ends with Jigsaw rising from the floor and revealing himself to Adam, all to the now iconic sounds of Charlie Clouser's Hello Zep. There are multiple twists packed into these final minutes, like, the reveal that Jigsaw is John Kramer and that he was in the room the entire time. It's enough to warrant multiple rewatches. It's an amazingly cool and well-directed scene.
Game over.
Number 20, Sinking into the Floor, Get Out.
How do you feel now?
I can't move.
You can't move.
Why can't I move?
Jordan Peele's horror hit Get Out has a lot going for it. A unique premise, strong performances, and a great visual style. An example of the latter was this fan-favorite scene, which occurs late in the film's first act, when Missy Armitage puts our hero Chris Washington under hypnosis. Deep under hypnosis.
We do use focal points sometimes to guide someone into a state of heightened suggestibility.
So deep, in fact, that the film's cinematography gets positively psychedelic as it explores Chris's journey into the sunken place.
Sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
It's one of our first clues that all isn't quite right with the Armitage family, since Chris's terrifying fall into darkness seems more than a bit extreme for something as comparatively minor as cigarette use. You might never feel comfortable around a cup of tea again. Number 19, Redface Comes Out of Nowhere, Insidious.
I saw something today. I thought it was a little boy
I followed it into Dalton's room, but it wasn't a child, it was something else.
Why do we love being scared? We suspect it has a whole lot to do with the adrenaline rush. Fans of the Insidious franchise just can't get enough of this scene from the first film, in which Joseph Bishara's red-faced demon appears behind Patrick Wilson.
I can still hear that voice.
Sure, it's a cheap scare, and we can't decide whether Bishara looks truly scary or more like some sort of demonic muppet, but we certainly cannot deny its effectiveness. Its strength lies in the way it plays on our expectations.
There was something in there with him. It was standing there in the corner.
We expect to see something scary at the end of a dark corridor at night, but not in a brightly lit dining room. And that's what gives this jump scare enduring appeal. Number 18, Subway Tunnel Miscarriage, Possession.
It's as if the two sisters were too exhausted to fight anymore. You know, these women wrestling in an arena of mud.
The twisted 1981 film Possession may not be a household name, but cult horror fans are likely quite familiar with this notably disturbing scene. Isabelle Adjani delivers an incredibly physical performance during what can only be described as a descent into madness for her character during a horrifying miscarriage. The scene of Adjani whirling about and pushing herself to the absolute physical limits may at first seem over the top, perhaps even humorous in execution. That is, until the character starts to leak and exude fluids from her body. As she slumps in the corner of a filthy subway, it's clear that the mentally and physically exhausted Anna has forever been changed by the experience. It's difficult viewing, but nonetheless mesmerizing.
What I miscarried there was Sister Faith, and what was left is Sister Chance.
Number 17, Satellite Drop, Cloverfield.
Admit it, you are gonna miss me a little bit, right? Oh, yeah, I will.
Blink and you will miss it. Even die-hard fans of the Cloverfield franchise can be forgiven for missing this Easter egg, which occurs near the end of the film. We can see some sort of object fall from the sky during Rob's flashback footage from Coney Island, something that lands into the ocean below. Fans who followed the film's viral marketing and backstory learned that the object was actually a satellite that somehow connected to the destructive events that occur in the film. Given how difficult the satellite is to make out, however, it's necessary to rewatch the scene carefully in order to catch this tantalizing extra.
People are gonna want to know how it all went down.
Number 16, Jason Jump Scare, Friday the 13th.
I was working the day that it happened, preparing meals. Here.
It's a delicate tightrope walk when it comes to delivering a good jump scare. On the one hand, it's a cheap way of delivering a fright, but it can also be an effective storytelling tool. This scene most definitely meets the latter definition, thanks mainly to how well it was executed by director-producer Sean S. Cunningham and crew. It's the mellow music from Harry Manfredini that elevates the scene. Alice is drifting in a boat, mentally exhausted from her fight with Pamela Voorhees. Then, with a truly unpredictable lead-in, the deformed body of Jason lurches up from the water, pulling her under. It may just be a nightmare, but it's a scene that gets us each and every time.
10 milligrams Valium. It's all right now, Alice. It's all over.
Number 15, The Chucky Reveal, Child's Play.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
It's easy to forget, given how far this franchise has run, that the original Child's Play is actually quite restrained at first with its Chucky effects.
I said talk to me, damn it! All right, then I'm gonna make you talk.
The doll containing the spirit of serial killer Charles Lee Ray is seen moving primarily in shadow and in first person, utilizing the old Jaws adage of less is more. That said, when Chucky finally does come alive in Karen Barkley's hands, it's not only an effective shock, it's also a payoff for all the tension that's been built up beforehand. Plus, Chucky voice actor Brad Dourif is just so good at being menacing and threatening, even in tiny doll form. Number 14, Staircrawl, Ju-on and the Grudge. The world of Japanese horror is known for many things, not the least of which is their propensity for truly terrifying visuals. Case Case in point, this supernatural scene from the influential 2002 film Ju-on the Grudge, which is something of a J-horror classic. Here, a mixture of tension building, first-person camera work, squishy sound design, and dedicated physical acting all come together in a perfect storm. In fact, the versions found in both the original Ju-on the Grudge and its 2004 American remake are superbly effective even today, serving as a perfect jumping-off point for those seeking to explore a new world of fright. Number 13, Man in the Mirror, Repulsion.
Oh, come on, fill us in with the gripping details.
Repulsion may not be your typical hack-and-slash horror fare, but this journey into the mind of a disturbed young woman takes a startling turn with this otherwise subtle jump scare sequence. Catherine Deneuve's Carol is all alone in the flat she shares with her sister, or at least she thinks she's alone. It's brief, but we can see a mysterious man in a reflection of a mirror, who appears when Carol opens her sister's closet. The question is he really there, or is he a product of Carol's increasingly unhinged imagination?
I wouldn't have minded seeing it.
Feel free anytime.
Number 12, Angela's Reveal, Sleepaway Camp.
Let's go swimming.
Now?
It's one of those unpredictable, no way anyone was expecting that kind of moments that can only happen in the world of horror. The shocking ending of the 1983 slasher classic Sleepaway Camp revealed that it was the shy and troubled Angela Baker who went on a rampage at Camp Arawak. The image of actress Felissa Rose growling with a horrifying expression on her face, superimposed upon some very graphic imagery, was also something absolutely no one was anticipating back in 1982, and truthfully won't see coming today. That is, if you don't spoil it for them.
Yes, I've always dreamed of a little girl just like you.
Number 11, Mind the Door, The Exorcist 3.
What's the difference? What's that got to do with this? Well, you mentioned that exorcism.
This jump scare can also be counted among the all-time greats. This is due to the timing of the shot and how it's never quite telegraphed to the audience exactly when it's going to occur. This underrated sequel to The Exorcist is an occult crime procedural, following a string of murders that appear to be committed by the long-dead Gemini killer.
This is impossible.
One of these attacks occurs in a hospital as a nurse is checking doors on her floor. The scene is shot quietly and at a distance, ramping up the tension to a delirious degree. Then, without any warning, the camera zooms into the Gemini attacking the nurse, simultaneously giving viewers a heart attack. Number 10, Freddy Cuts In, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Watch this.
There's no arguing that Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger is one of the all-time horror icons.
Please, God.
This is God.
It's easy to forget, given the character's eventual propensity for wisecracks, that Freddy was initially a very menacing and merciless killer, as evidenced by this first appearance.
Yeah.
Tina's death in the film is played completely straight, and the sight of her being tossed around the bedroom by Krueger's hand is only made all the more shocking for the gratuitous gore. Additionally, fans also rewatched the scene just to see how writer-director Wes Craven and co. managed to get the effect of Tina's final moments on the ceiling, back in the glory days of practical effects movie magic. Number 9, Mind Blown, Scanners.
I know that you've all been prepared for this, but I thought I'd just remind you just the same.
Speaking of practical effects, is there any other horror head explosion that's as satisfying or insanely over the top as this one from David Cronenberg's Scanners? Horror fans just loved rewinding this scene when a scanner, Cronenberg's word for someone with intense mental abilities, is put to the ultimate test by one of his own, Daryl Revick. The psychokinetic abilities of Michael Ironside's Revick are so strong that they cause the other scanner's head to explode, in a gratuitously awesome way that we can't show you here.
All right. We're gonna do it the scanner way. I'm gonna suck your brain dry. Everything you are is gonna become me. You're gonna be with me, Cameron, no matter what. After all, brothers should be close, don't you think?
The effect was achieved by blasting a shotgun through a dummy's head filled with, among other things, old hamburgers, resulting in a messy yet surprisingly realistic sequence that's just as much fun to watch today.
I want you to come with me. I didn't do anything.
I
said I want you to come with me.
Number 8, Werewolf A Go-Go, an American werewolf in London. There have been many effective werewolf transformation scenes over the years, from Joe Dante's The Howling to Dog Soldiers and The Company of Wolves. There's one that nonetheless trumps them all, however, and it's from John Landis's immortal An American Werewolf in London.
Suddenly there appeared before me
Fans not only recoiled at just how visceral and painful turning into a werewolf seemed to be for poor David Kessler, they also studied the scene frame by frame to see how it was filmed. Rick Baker's game-changing effects were the star of the show, inspiring the next generation of makeup and visual effects artists.
Did you ever see The Wolf Man?
Is that the one with Oliver Reed?
No, the old one.
I don't think so.
Number 7, Monster Free-for-All, The Cabin in the Woods. Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard's The Cabin in the Woods was simultaneously a great send-up of and a love letter to classic horror movie tropes.
The Virgin.
Me?
Virgin? We work with what we have.
As such, the film was chock full of Easter eggs and homages to other characters and franchises.
Let's get this party started.
One particularly great scene sets up a whole bunch of movie monsters for the ultimate murderous mash of carnage.
Oh, shit.
Beasts of all shapes and sizes terrorize the underground compound which sits below the titular cabin, from a merman to a certain, shall we say, Pinhead-esque tribute to the Hellraiser series. You've really got to watch this scene again and again to catch them all. Number 6, it's time for my close-up, The Blair Witch Project.
I am so sorry.
Sure, this scene may have been parodied to death in the immediate aftermath of its release, but there's no denying the impact Heather Donahue's close-up monologue scene had on late 90s horror.
I love you, Mom. Dad.
Let's face it, not much happens on screen during the Blair Witch Project. So when the camera cuts to an uncomfortable and unflattering angle of Heather's face, we're caught off guard.
I insisted on everything.
Donahue's fear is palpable as she delivers her lines in a trembling and tearful voice. And it's here where the Blair Witch Project truly grabbed hold of its audience and their imaginations.
And it's all because of me that we're here now. Hungry and cold and hunted.
Number 5, Hammers and Hooks, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Things happen here about they don't tell about. I see things.
This scene has sparked decades of debate and review. Tobe Hooper's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre isn't really bloody by modern standards, but achieves its scares via atmosphere and unbelievable tension. And so it's easy to misremember the level of gore present. Still, this didn't stop fans from swearing they saw poor Pam impaled by Leatherface. This was how powerful Hooper's subliminal terror was upon moviegoers, as we never see the hooks emerge through Pam's chest, just like we don't actually see what Leatherface does to Kirk after he assaults him with a hammer. It's all in our minds, which was probably exactly what Hooper wanted in the first place.
Hey, you see those buildings there? That's where they kill them. They bash him in the head with a big sledgehammer.
Number 4, Morbid Symbolism, Hereditary.
It's okay, Charlie, we're almost to the hospital, okay?
There's no denying that the death of Charlie early on in Hereditary comes as a complete shock to the audience. However, the reasoning behind our next entry isn't necessarily due to the scene's troubling violence, but rather a small, minute detail that you can only see upon further viewings. The occult symbol of King Payman is actually emblazoned upon the telephone pole that decapitates Charlie, leading the viewer to believe that all of the film's events have been preordained, leading up to Peter's demonic coronation.
You are Payman, one of the 8 kings of hell.
It's quick and only really noticeable if you pause the frame, but it adds yet another layer of depth to one of 2018's most frightening films. Number 3, here's Johnny, The Shining.
Wendy, I'm home.
Okay, sure. Stephen King himself may have disliked what cinema maverick Stanley Kubrick did with his big screen adaptation of The Shining, but there's no denying this scene's place in the pantheon of horror cinema. Jack Nicholson is in full unhinged mode at this point in the film, with his character, Jack Torrance, having seemingly lost all grip on reality.
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in.
The image of Nicholson bursting through a bathroom door as he stalks his wife Wendy became the stuff of which nightmares were made, rewatched and quoted endlessly by legions of horror fans around the world.
Here's Johnny!
Number 2, Chestburster, Alien.
You just know you know what it's made of.
No, Dad. I don't want to talk about what it's made of. I'm eating this.
Never have practical movie effects been so effective, or so gross. The infamous chestburster scene from Ridley Scott's Alien caught everyone by surprise when it first hit screens back in 1979. One might think that time would have lessened the scene's impact by now, but horror fans to this day are inspired by the level of skill and artistry it took to bring the xenomorphs to life in Scott's film. The effect of this embryonic alien as it bursts through Kane's chest cavity is as savage as it is strangely satisfying, like the memory of our first time being scared at the movies. It's a scene that never gets old, even decades since its debut.
Oh no, not again.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Michael Unmasked, the Halloween franchise. There were few ways to uncover a horror movie mystery in the pre-internet age.
Oh, look. Look where?
Die-hard fans looking for answers turned to magazines like Fangoria for the latest scoop from the set, but what if you wanted to know what was really behind the mask of someone like Michael Myers? Well, you paused, watched, and rewatched those scenes that offered a tantalizing glimpse behind those devil's eyes. The first film has probably the most satisfying of these unmasking scenes, specifically during the final confrontation in the Doyle house. Tony Moran's face is fleeting, but for fans of a certain age, revisiting these few seconds was the only way to get a personal glimpse at pure evil.
Contaminating his soul. It was pure evil.
Do you agree with this list? Which horror movie scene is the most iconic? Let us know in the comments.